Patrick Cook here. Hey, so welcome to session number 4 of our discussion of why we do Mandelbulb 3D art. In the previous discussions, I was talking about it's a process of discovery. And a really cool thing about it is you're going along, you're tweaking the formulas, the properties, and you push it up to main. It's okay. And then what happens is all of a sudden it just pops in. Now, when I was taking a break between beginning this session and the last session, I was up here on the same formula structure that we had. Okay, the 4 formulas in alternate mode. Okay, and I was just kind of playing around with the properties, and I landed on this. And I said, wow. All right, and these are the same formulas, okay? In the previous sessions, I was messing around with the properties, and we were getting ugly the graphic results up on the main, which I rejected, okay? And that's the cool thing about working with the Mandelbulb 3D generative art, is that you're going to reject the vast majority of the designs that show up on your screen, and then all of a sudden, wham, and there's a beautiful image that just tells a big story. It just tells a story. All right. This one here tells me a story. I landed on it, and I'm playing with it, and boom! All of a sudden, there it is. Let me sidetrack a little bit. I've been a software developer for, oh my God, I don't know, the last, 33 years, something like that. And the interesting thing about writing software is that you go for periods of time and it's boring. You're dealing with lots of detail. Your software algorithm isn't working yet. All right. And then you put the last piece of the puzzle in, and wham, then it works. The function works, all right? And you say, all that time and the effort that I put into writing that piece of software, now the software is doing its job, and it's working. And those moments when your software begins to work, those are the moments you live for in software development. Those are the moments. That's where it's all at. Up to that point, it's planning, it's writing, it's correcting, it's attending to details. You're looking at specifications, other people's work, APIs, and then when you get it all laid out and you get it working, it works. And then it goes off and it does its job. It becomes part of a product or a website, or it's embedded into a toaster oven, whatever. Now that's it. That's a very similar thing for me with the Mandelbulb generative art. You're going along, you're playing with the properties. You don't know where you're going. You don't really have an idea where you're going. You can't really, because like I said before, the computer does generates the art. You set the stage, but the computer does the actual performance. And then all of a sudden you land on something like that and you say, wow. And then here's what you wind up with. Now you don't want to touch it. Now it's just super good. All right. And you just don't want to touch it. So you come down here and you do the slight, oh, geez, and that blows the whole thing way out. Oh, now you got that, you see? And you got that. And you can see all kinds of clipping going on here. You see, so you get to a point where you say, oh my, geez, how am I going to get that back, You reject, and all of a sudden, bang, wow. And now you're afraid to even touch it. All right. So you save it, like I did between sessions. I said, wow. and I saved it, and I wanted to show it to you in this session. Okay, all right, but let's get that. Let's get our navigator refreshed up. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah. See the navigator. So I'm running into a little bug here. Okay. A little bug. See how the parameter, parameter button won't load it anymore. Okay. So let's see what I can do about this. It's probably the application is probably damaged. Let me try closing the navigator, opening it back up. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So you get to see it. All right, you get to see it. The Mandelbulb3D application is buggy, and if that bothers you, you probably shouldn't get involved with it. But let me make this point about that, and I'll reload it from my save file. Let me make a point about this. The Mandelbulb3D application is buggy, unconventional interface. You never quite know when it's going to go haywire on you. But man, you can make some amazing graphics that nobody else can if you're willing to deal with the nonsense of the lockups, the loss, the freezes, or the crashes, whatever. If you're willing to deal with that, you're in a valuable position where you can make some really cool graphics and animations that very few people can. You just have to be willing to put up with the nonsense in order to get there. Let's reload this. All right, there it is. Okay. All right. Now, little glitch along the way. You get over it. Save often. Save often. Okay. All right. Now, let's talk about this a little bit more. Just kind of wind up this session here and just kind of bring us to a point where we kind of understand where we're at. So look, the Mandelbulb3D is generative art. You set the stage, the software does the performance. Sometimes it doesn't want to do the performance, goes on strike, crashes, locks up, whatever. That's life, you know. You're in a position where you accept and reject. You'll reject more often, far more often than you'll accept. You'll come across a graphic and you'll say, wow, what am I going to do with that? Now that tells a story, all right? And then you shift into a whole nother paradigm where now you're afraid to lose it. And you save, you see what you can do with it, you tweak, you try to make what you find, what you discovered, you try to make it better, and you try to get yourself in a position where you can tell a story with it. That's what I want to talk about next in this series. I want to talk about finding the story. All right? You've done the act of discovery. You've played, you've tweaked, and boom, you've got something. Now, where's the story? Where's the story? That's a whole big part of why we create with the Mandelbulb3D. We're looking for a story. All right. So let me leave you with that thought. Get a refill on your coffee. I'm going to. And when we come back in the next session, session 5, I want to immediately begin talking about finding the story in your Mandelbulb 3D art pursuit. I'll see you there.